What are we talking about today? We talking about Jay Seru, Jay Bird, J Rock, Jay Nice, Jay Playa. Lady J is another name for her. Who we talking about today? Which one? Tell me who we talking about, then I can start. Sarah obviously has a lot of nicknames. Some are, well, all of them I'm sure are names of endearment. At least the ones that I'm familiar with anyway. I call her Jay Seru sometimes. Don't ask me. I just make up words all the time. So that's one of my names of endearment for Jacera. I met Jacera in the early 2000s. She had recently moved from Detroit to Baltimore. Met her at the church that I was attending at the time. I was the fine arts ministry director. We were having a Christmas production, I believe, and she came to the auditions. She was new to the church, and I think my expectation was pretty basic in that I remember thinking, she's new to the ministry. This is probably a good entryway to kind of get involved. And hey, whatever it is, it'll work out. It's definitely a win-win, right? But what she ultimately did was she auditioned with song, and she sang Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. And I remember thinking, I've never heard Chestnuts sung that way. I'm thinking to myself, this is not your grandmother's chestnuts roasting playing in the background. This is not that rendition. I remember thinking, oh my God, she sounds so freaking good. Like she's an awesome singer. And I mean, we were literally blown away in the audition. Like I just couldn't barely gather myself. It was just, she has a wonderful voice. Just point blank period. And so it was kind of like history from that point. I was just, going on and ranting and raving about how wonderful her voice is. And we ultimately began to eventually work together on artistic projects, which is also fun because it was kind of cool to be able to have someone that you could like give an idea to that seemed a little like off or bizarre or just strange or super metaphoric, but they would not only get it but be able to take it to another level. And so that's what constantly at that season that we were able to do, in my recollection anyway, to be able to have creative conversations and just kind of back and forth. And there was never any barrier in that regard as it pertains to like creative compilations, creative collaborations. It was like, okay, we could do this and we could do that. And how about if we did that? Because this really means that. And it'd just be like, okay. And we would go off into the ether. So I really, really enjoyed that exchange with Jay Seru. What makes Jacera who she is? I think there are a lot of components to Jacera. She's not a one-dimensional person, or even two for that matter. She's definitely a thinker. Some may say an overthinker, but definitely a thinker. And so when you're a thinker, it includes introspection. It includes thinking about an exchange, a conversation, days after the conversation was had, which can be a positive or a challenge, if you're thinking and then, going in various places with whatever your conclusions are. So she's analytical. So her analytical approach to her faith, her analytical approach to a job or to her work. I mean, it always seems to come up. Sometimes even in her friendships, I think there's an analytical thing that happens sometimes, and that's a part of who she is. Even let me tell you. This is where I it's just so interesting because sometimes you think about, okay, this moment, it doesn't really require an analysis, but the Sarah may break out one and you just like, wow, I was just making a joke, you know what I'm saying? Just like I was just being silly, I really didn't need this thesis on it, but okay, thanks. No, but I mean, seriously, I mean, she's a very uh layered individual. I mean, there's the flirty Sarah, there's the serious business Sarah, there's the I will cut you Sarah, there's the weepy mushy Sarah. I mean, there is the family oriented Sarah, there is the jokester Sarah, there is the player Sarah. There, um there's so many tiers and layers. Um, there's the learner, the just Sarah that is a um, chronic learner, constantly learning, constantly seeking and searching for information. There's I said the analytical just Sarah. There's the organizing just Sarah. I mean, there's so many tiers and layers, and that multiplicity, that multi talent, and of course there's the talent. There's the artistic uh, persona that comes through her style. It comes through her, whatever she may be doing with her hair. It comes through her artistic expression. And this is probably what really makes Sarah is her, you know, guarantee to push the envelope. She's gonna push the envelope. She's going to question, and sometimes it'd be like, whoa, did she just? But it's often needed because you gotta mix it up a little bit. If we get so accustomed to the the mundane humdrum without someone to mix it up, then what would life be like? And so Sarah's like that seasoning, right? That brings a little, you taste something, and then the seasoning hits you right at the back of the throat. You're like, that's kind of how she is. Yeah. I how has just Sarah impacted my life? That's a good question. I think I know for a fact one of the areas by which she has impacted my life is the um incessant pursuit of her uh, dream or her goals. When it was extremely unpopular, just Sarah, she left that corporate world and really decided to be a full-time entertainer. Now we all know, I told you my first encounter was her singing, and it wasn't just she has a cute voice. I mean, this is a big voice, and definitely meant to be heard on big stages, right? So she made a very unpopular decision, you know, to say, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pursue it. I'm going to, work towards becoming a full-time entertainer. And then she did. And that is like stepping out on the water, because, the whole cliche, the starving actress thing is real. That's real. That's not, that's not just a cliche. You're working hard, sometimes harder than those getting six figures, and you're happy if you can pay your rent and eat. Because you have to start somewhere, and you don't always start at the top of of the line, with the whole entertainment field. But she did it. She would perform on companies, Toby's in Baltimore, dinner theaters and things like that, locally, and then began to get auditions and left and moved and lived in places altogether different, with like California or Branson, Missouri, or Tennessee, something like that. I mean, so she's just living in different places, meeting new people each time. Um, that's on the cast or in the cast, and learning new things. And then we're like, "Are you coming home? When you coming back? When you coming back home?" And home at this point in our mind, the friends and the church and all that is Baltimore. She ain't even from Baltimore. She's really from Detroit. So not only did she already leave her home into a new home, then even like getting settled there and leaving again to say, "I gotta live and be and do what I feel I'm supposed to be doing." And it was such an act of faith. And I'm sure at times you leave and you're probably feeling lonely and probably feeling, miss my family, miss my friends. This is for the birds, but I love it, but I don't love it, and then, not that she's an old person, but I think living that kind of life, being willing to kind of make those kind of sacrifices, you usually have your early 20s, kind of doing that. So she may have been sometimes one of the older members in the cast, and having to maintain and keep up, and doing it, and doing it well. So I think, how she's impacted my life is a demonstration of what it means and what it looks like to be committed and dedicated to what you believe in, even at the cost of it being an unpopular decision, even at the cost of being removed or removing yourself from the comfort zone, right? Even at the cost of feeling like a fool. Pursue it. Say that you can at least say, as Frank Sinatra says, "I did it my way." So you can at least say you've done that you tried it, that you put yourself out there. And she did it well. I mean, for years, a full-time entertainer. And I watch people, whether they meant to or not, try to pull her back. "That's nice, that's cute. When you coming back?" And I watched her ignore the naysayers and ignore those who could not see and would not see and did not want to understand or see. I watched her ignore them and continue to move forward. And I watched her expand her sphere of influence. So for me, the impact is, if you really want to be great, you gotta make great sacrifices. And I'm not saying that I'm super there, but I can say that some of the decisions I've made, sometimes you gotta look at examples to kind of be a hope for you. And I think she definitely has been an example for me in making some of the decisions to say, "Hey, if you're gonna do it, right? Even if it's an unpopular uh, decision, not an unpopular decision." If DeSera was a color, what color would she be? I think that's, if to limit or confine DeSera to a color would be an injustice. So I'm sure you've seen it. There's these painters, that literally just take paint and it appears like they're just splattering it all over the wall, and then it becomes, "I'll sell this for $1.4 million, please," but there's, in my mind, what I'm seeing right now is a white canvas, large white canvas outside, with green plush grass and a bright sun, but paint cans of all colors spread about the yard, and just taking brushes and splattering it on the canvas, creating some kind of, you know collage or meshing of the rainbow on that canvas. And once the whole canvas is covered with the various colors from the paint cans, and then the colors that when those colors mix create those colors, and then the color that happens to the color when the sun hits it, and then the color that happens when it dries versus when it's wet. All of those colors dynamics, a fully covered canvas, that's the color of the Sarah. She likes color too. She be wearing some bright colors. You be like, here comes the Sarah. She likes colors, and because I think because it speaks to, just being bright and vibrant, full of life. Definitely, she definitely doesn't like anything dull. So to me, to, like I said, confine her to one color would be an injustice. Uh, I think she'll get married eventually if she would choose, right? If she decides to choose. It's not like just Sarah isn't married because of lack of choices or options, I should say. Um, I think perhaps um, that having options is something that she enjoys. I know I do. So I think having options is definitely something she enjoys. Consequently, it may make for difficult. It may make it difficult to settle down if you enjoy having options or what have you, and having, you know player tendencies. I'm joshing. We all grow and mature over time. I think, like I said, I've known her since the early 2000s. So we are growing and evolving and things like that. So that may not be a fair statement at this point in the game, but I definitely think she will eventually um, settle down. And I don't mean settle down like, okay, we're gonna stay in this place and just get fat together, but I think settling down meaning connecting with someone long term. I believe that is the desire, and like I said, it's not currently the case because of a lack of options. I guess really another factor would be an individual would really have to be secure in himself and really, I think, a strong personality. And I don't mean in a negative way, but I mean it in a way that is compatible with this force to be reckoned with, right? You need something or someone compatible to that, and everybody ain't gonna be able to handle that. You know what I mean? So you gotta that may not you don't meet those kind of people every day. So you just have to be patient and wait and look and do your thing. But I do believe she will eventually um get married. How many careers? I think that I don't know the answer to that. I think I'm trying to think. Okay, well, there was the sales, mortgage, entertainment, and therapist. So four, maybe four. Made I'm sure there's been other jobs, but sales and marketing, mortgage, something in corporate, and in Hanover, I believe. I don't know. And then entertainment, therapist. So yeah, like four or five maybe. And careers, because like like this is what we doing for real, not like working at Ross or but I mean like bona fide full time, you know, climbing up the ladder. I mean, it was like, okay, what we doing? Going to school for it. So yeah, I'd say about four or five different careers in her lifetime that I'm aware of. Um, she's lived in various states. I think I can recall uh I think five. I think I'm six, maybe six. Mm-hmm. Mama was a Rolling Stone. No, I definitely am excited about the show. I think it will be delightful. I think it will be informative. Um, and so I wish just Sarah all the blessings, all the good juju I, that is due her can come out of this. I don't doubt that it'll be great. And so I definitely wish you well, just Sarah. Do your thing, help the world, help change the world. That's ultimately what I think we're here to do in our perspective lanes. And like I said, one of the most impactful things about just Sarah in my life is her drive to do just that. I'm trying to change the world in my lane, but I'm trying to change the world. So I say to you, good wishes, give you, blessings that speak life and goodness, just good stuff to your endeavors. All right. Thanks.